top earning real estate agents have one thing in common, and that thing is that they all know their local real estate market. So our goal is to help you understand your market conditions so that you can give your client better advice as a realtor. You can also manage their expectations better. Create, I would say, promotional opportunities based on what you know about your current market or your current farming area. And the way that I want to get started with this class is going to be showing you all of the statistics that have been created for you. So we're going to start right on miamirealtor.com where it says news. If you click on news, you do have various ways to pull statistics that are available. I want to start here in stats because this is something you can easily add to your workflow, right? You log in, you look at a video. The easiest way to absorb information is through videos. You can always share this information. You can add it to your blogs. You can add it to your social media. You can pull this information and use it for conversations, a talking point, right? Because statistics helps you build trust with your customer. And it's going to be available every month on the month. So this is regarding Miami-Dade. Not everyone lives in Miami-Dade. I understand that. But we also have for you the South Florida market stats. So if I click on here, we're going to have the same statistics that are created in these videos or used to create these videos, which is a great idea for agents to be able to create their own videos. You have that information regarding Miami-Dade, Broward County, Palm Beach, Martin, and St. Lucie. Okay, so these stats are going to show you your closed sales. They're going to compare December 2020 over December 2019, and you'll have the percentage change year over year. So for example, you have your closed sales. In December 2020, we have 562 closed sales. In December of 2019, we had 554 closed sales, and that's a change of 1.4% that year. Paid in cash, right? We have that percentage, 21.7% last year compared to 2019, which was 20.2%, a change of 7.4%. You also have the median sales price. So that price point, right, for St. Lucie is $269,450. This has already been pulled for you. Now you know immediately that median sales price for that county compared to 2019, where it was $236,000. So there has been a significant change of 14.2%. We also have the information for dollar volume, percentage of original list price received. We also have the median time to contract. So from the time that it was listed to the time that it went under contract, it's about 16 days. That was December 2020 compared to 36 days in 2019. We have your median time to sale. And that means from the time of contract to the time that they've closed this property, it's taking 67 days compared to 2019, which it was taking 77 days. You have the information regarding active inventory, right? So we currently have 932 active listings compared to last year where we had 1,738 listings. So our month supply of inventory is quite low, right, at 1.8 months. Months of inventory means if we were to no longer accept any additional new listings in this area, it would take us, based on the rate that the market is selling these properties, 1.8 months to run out of homes to sell, or at least single family homes, because everything in blue is your single family, and then everything in orange, this is the information regarding your townhomes and your condos. Let's say you wanted this information available for you in a flyer, right? Because you want to add it maybe to a listing presentation, maybe you want to add it to your marketing information, maybe a buyer report. You can scroll down and you have options. So you have your summary reports. You also have detailed reports that are available, and it's broken down between counties. So you have your Miami-Dade for single family, townhomes and condos, and then you have your longer report for the same information. And then you have Broward, right? Palm Beach, Martin, and St. Lucie. I'm going to click on the summary report so I can show you. They're very well made, and you can add it to your social media. Again, you can use this information to market, to share. That's what you want to do with statistics. Stats build trust. Again, they also build your credibility. When you find statistics like this, your whole thing is you want to share this information. It's going to help you land new clients. You want to share this information in person, during phone call conversations, in a blog, etc. So this is your information regarding market stats. If I exit out of here, now that we know where to find our detailed reports, you do have on the right-hand side any additional stats. You have the archive. So if you want to go back, you can. It's available here all the way back into August of 2019, right? If I hover over news, if I click on news, I do want to show you that you also have international research, right? So if you want to know what's going on internationally, we do have the 2020 Florida International Real Estate Profile. Some of us are interested in being global agents. You do want to know that kind of market, even just to have an idea of what's going on. You can go ahead and click on that to review the information. It's 36 pages. But right in the beginning, it gives you some great highlights. Okay, so just knowing 15.6 billion, you have the dollar volume of Florida's existing home purchased by foreign buyers, right? We have 69% of these foreign buyers who are primary residents, right? Where their primary residence is abroad. You also have the information of who's coming, right? So what are the foreign buyers? Where are they coming from? And we have them in order. It's Canada, Brazil, Venezuela, Argentina, and Colombia. We also see what are the top foreign buyer destination. We have Miami and Fort Lauderdale, West Palm Beach, Tampa, St. Petersburg, Clearwater, Orlando, Kissimmee, Sanford, Northport, Sarasota, Breton, and we have Cape Coral. We also have their median price point, right, which has gone up. 64% of foreign buyers are all paying cash. 66 intend to use the property for vacation, residential rental, or both. 35% of our foreign buyers who are purchasing a condo or a co-op unit. And then 89% of the foreign buyers who visited Florida at least once before are making a purchase, which that's a very interesting statistic. This is a great statistic. It's a great understanding at a glance of what's going on internationally. It's already been created for you. So if you want to dip your toe, if you want to know what's going on, this is a great section for you. Okay, and this can be found again, miamirealtors.com/news. And what I did was under international research, I simply clicked the 2020 Florida International Real Estate Profile. So get curious about what you have available on your Miami profile or your Miami website. You also do have additional stats at a glance, right? You also have news releases about South Florida, your additional Miami market presentation. So if you're interested in adding these, previewing these, you have them available for you. And then additional information regarding stats and where you can find them, local economic indicators and where you can find that information, and our partner publications. Okay, so easy, done for you. This is a matter of just checking in and making sure that you're abreast with all of that information. Another place that you can go to find statistics that have already been created for you that you can easily add into your business. If I go back to the homepage, right, we want to go ahead and log into our Miami gateway. So go ahead and click on the link above Okay, so this is your Miami Gateway. The next section that I want to show you is you have a SunStat page that's available for you that's going to be on your Miami Gateway. Your SunStat is a great way to break down that statistic even further. So what we were looking at were county statistics. If you want to break it down into a farming area, so that would be either a city, or if you want to go further, a zip code, SunStats is available for you where they have already created statistics. You would simply have to input the information of your city of interest, right, or zip code. So if we click on SunStats, that's going to bring you to this page. This is available for you at no cost. It's available through Florida Realtors. And I wanted to get started basically up here. So when you guys, maybe after the class, click into your settings, update your information, I would start with just adding in your geographic areas of interest. I've put in some examples like Aventura, Doral, Miami Lakes. You simply type in the information and it'll populate for you. And then you want to scroll down because we can do reporting. I would start with updating your photo, updating your logo, and then going back and inputting your information. So you want to add your name, your real estate company, the address, your office phone and cell phone. Don't put dashes or it won't take it. And then your email address. On the right, it's going to show you an example of what my branding is going to look like on my reportings. So super simple. This is under your settings. Okay. Then I'm going to click on my dashboard so I can view what I have available. At this time, I'm looking at the city of Aventura. If I wanted to change it, I would simply click on change and I can add any city of interest if I like. So if I want to look at Deerfield Beach, I would simply type it in. Look at Deerfield Beach. It's mapped out for me in the map. And on the right hand side, I have the availability of clicking all property types or breaking it down into either that single family home bracket, or if I want to look at townhouses and condos, or if I want to look at manufactured homes. At this time, I'm just going to look at all property types in this section. And then right at the bottom, I'm going to click apply. I see the chat is pretty busy. Thank you so much, Connie, for all of your help inside of the chat. As you guys can see, we have those statistics available for us for Deerfield Beach. It was very simple to access that information. It's going to give me my statistics. So for example, closed sales, and it's going to compare year over year, where it's showing me December 2020 compared to December 2019. And it's going to give me that number of closed sales with the percentage change. And then it's going to show me that line graph of the last 12 months. You have everything from closed sales to cash sales as percentages of closed sales, median sales price, average sales price, dollar volume, median percentage of original list price, median time to contract, median time to sale, new pending sale, new listings in the area, pending inventory, active inventory, and then your month supply. If you forget what one of these statistics means, I also like that they have these little bubbles that are going to explain to you, additional information or give you additional information of what they're showing you, right? So if you have to explain it to someone else or you need a refresher about what that means or how that statistic is pulled, for example, median sales price, it's going to give you that information. Okay. So this is a great way for you to be able to pull information. If you wanted to change it again, simply click on change and input another city of interest. Miramar. Okay, select single family homes, scroll to the bottom and apply. Easy peasy. Okay, so now that we're familiar with our dashboard and how it works, let's take a look at our chart builder. Our chart builder is basically the opportunity for you to be able to pull different statistics and be able to download them. If you look on the right hand side, you can download them and you can also download them with branding. So when I went into my settings and I updated my marketing information, I was able to include branding. Now, the available cities, the geographic areas, the ones that are available here are the ones that I inputted in my settings. So if they're not in your settings, which you can edit and change in your settings on a dime, then you can't pull, right, that chart. So for example, I want to change it to Miami Lakes. I'm going to click apply, or I can click apply, and it's going to update my information. Before I click apply, I'm going to scroll down and show you that you have different metrics that you can use. So you can do active inventory, average sales price, cash sales, right? So I'm going to leave it at closed sales. You can select your property type, how you'd like to display it. You can create a date range of interest. You can also add a price tier. So if you work with luxury homes and you wanted to add that price tier, you can. And then, of course, you can always select your sales type. So if you want to see traditional information, foreclosure information, or short sale information, you can do so. Clicking on apply, it's going to go ahead and update my information. Okay, and here I have my information regarding Miami Lakes for my closed sales. It's going to break down that information and give me my stats. And then I want to show you that you can go ahead and download this information, clicking on download with branding. I'm going to go ahead and open that. This is what that looks like. You have the branding information that's available. You have my marketing information, and it's great. You can add it to your social media. Exiting out. The regular download does not have your branding information, so you have it as a graph. Okay. You always want to include your branding to any information that you give. You also have the ability to export, right? So if you want to download it as a CSV inside of Excel, you have that available as well. So very cool what you can do in Sudsets. Aside from it being very cool, it's very easy to use. Okay, so moving along from our SunStats, I'm going to go ahead and go back into our Miami Gateway. We also have, quite a lot of information that we want to cover. I know that we want to cover some stats that we can create ourselves. So far what I've showed you are statistics that have already been created for you that you can simply pull. So now we're going to jump into our matrix program. So this is our matrix program. You want to click in there. Let me exit out some of these windows. Here's matrix, and we're going to work today on stats, and we're also going to take a peek in market reports. Right, so we're going to do two different statistics inside of matrix. I know that we jump into matrix, we search for property, but some of us haven't really taken the time to explore. So let's click on stats and take a look at what we have available. These are presets. Presets means they are systems or they're statistics that have been put in place and named. All we would have to do is input the criteria of interest, right? So for example, if I wanted to look at the county and I wanted to look at my historic count of active listings, right? So if somebody asked me what's the number of listings in Miami-Dade County, I know that I can come here. I can break it down into property type if I'd like. So let's say I select single family and I want to work the county. I can simply click on Miami-Dade. That's enough information that I've selected that I can pull or generate a report. So simply clicking on generate on the bottom of the page, that's going to pull that report for me, and it's going to give me the historic count of active listings. We can see that our inventory since 2016 has significantly dropped, right? So we are basically at an all-time low regarding inventory. Still a hot market, but single family inventory is low, guys, and you can see it very easily inside of this graph. Now, if you are not a graph person and you like looking at data, not a problem. We have a section called data. This is my favorite way to look at the statistic. I like to look at the month over month. I like to see the year over year. We have since 2016 to 2020. I can scroll down and we can see That compared to last year where we had 7,207 active listings, this year we have 4,635 listings. Right? So it does give you additional information at the bottom of what was pulled. So it's going to tell you the time frame that you pulled was January 2016 to December 2020. Aside from that, it's going to explain to you the property type that you pulled. We pulled Miami-Dade, we pulled Miami-Dade County, sorry, we pulled single family, and then the results calculated approximately from the amount of listings. Right? It gives that to you. You can always export this information as a CSV. Aside from that, down at the bottom, you can print it, right? So if you want to print it, if you want to email it, this is also another option. Let's say I want to go back, customize a little bit, and I'm looking at 2016. Regarding statistics, and listings inside of Matrix, you can only go back 10 years, which 10 years is quite a lot of information, but you can go back 10 years. If I wanted to do that, I would simply click on Customize. You see the middle tab? If I click on Customize, I can go ahead and change that time frame. So at this time, I'm looking at the statistic, the active listings, and I'm also having it grouped by months, which we did inside of our preset. In clicking on Customize, we can add or change that preset a little bit. So if I wanted to click on that time frame and do the past 10 years, you can click past 10 years and then click on Generate. Right, and that's going to give you additional information. It's going to include, right, 10 years. It's going to go back all the way to 2011. Okay, so that's a way that you can customize this information. You can also clear it. So if you wanted to start brand new, simply clear that information. You can group it in different ways based on the statistic that you have chosen. So if I click on my stat, you do have different stats that you can pick. Number of expired listings, for example. Generate. And we have that information. So short inventory, low inventory, but listings are expiring. So if you want to jump on that type of marketing, then that can be something that you can be interested in pursuing, right? So going back up, if I wanted to change my criteria, so I've done some information and I want to change the criteria that I'm using, simply click on search. Okay, so you can change that information, click back on preset. So whenever you click on the search tab, it's going to bring you back into your criteria of information. Whenever you click on charts, you're going to have that preview of the statistic. And then whenever you click on data, you're going to have it broken down, right? So if I click on search and I wanted to do the same thing in Miami-Dade, but I wanted to look at condos now, you can simply click on generate. Okay, and I'm able to see the amount of condos that we have available. We can see that throughout the years you have spikes, right? Clicking on data, we can see that information. Okay, so we have our information regarding our condos. All right, so these are your different presets. Aside from that, you have my presets. These are presets that I've customized myself that you can go ahead and use. And then I'm going to click on market reports. So under here, you have market reports. Market reports is another available statistic report that you can do. These are your personal reports. So if you wanted to do an agent report, you can look at your agent production report. I'm not a current agent, but I want to show it to you anyway. You can create your start date and your end date, input your agent ID. You can also input any agent ID if you'd like, which is a license number. You can input either the last name or the first name. So either one, it'll pull the information and then simply generate that report. This is a way that you can generate your production report or another agent's production report. You can find that under market reports. I don't want to put anybody on blast or show their information, but that is how you pull agent reporting. You can also do agent market share. So that means how much of the market is this agent pulling, right, based on their production. So you can start with your date range, how you want to rank them. So you can do maybe total volume, or if you specialize in maybe listing, then you want to compare listing side volume. Or if you represent buyers normally, you can do the sales, right? You can also select your max row. So if you want to see the top 100, the top 50, and then compare where you lie, right? So you can actually add either an agent ID or an office ID. So you can compare either agents or offices. You can also break down the information. So if you want to compare yourself and see where you lie and see where your competition is, if you're an agent who wants to do or compare sales volume based on single family homes, because that's your specialty, in Southeast Florida, which is our association of Miami. And then you want to also compare maybe a specific area that you work or a specific city that you sell or county, then you can generate that report and see where you're at, right? And how many steps it would take to get to where you want to be. So this is a great way to kind of spark your competitive side or see where you lie regarding market share. And if you rank pretty high in market share, that's also a fantastic tool that you can use regarding marketing. Going back into market reports, you also have agent market share by listed, right? So this is only going to work regarding the listing side of inventory, right? Also, this is a great way that you want to remember that whenever you are a buyer realtor, and you've closed with another agent or another company, you want to always go back inside of that listing or that sale that you've recently closed with another agent, and just make sure that they gave you credit at the bottom. If you are not listed as the buyer agent in a listing that you represented the buyer, you can go ahead and contact that listing agent. They'll update it. If they haven't updated it as of yet, you can always contact the matrix department with the association. You can send them the closing and the sales contract, and they'll update the information for you. So very important that you have your credit so that that information reflects correctly. You also have the ability to compare offices. So you can compare your own office production and inventory, and generate that report for your own office. You also have the option to generate your office market share, right? So you can go ahead and rank your office, input their office ID, and see more or less where they lie. So if you're interested in seeing, you know, where your office lies, if you're interested in changing a broker, if you're interested in a particular type of brokers that specializes on a particular side or geographic area, this is a great way for you to be able to do your research. Aside from that, you can also generate market conditions. So if I click on the market condition report, that's a 1004 MC report. You always want to compare active listings whenever you're going to do a market share and close sales. Aside from that, you also want to select a zip code. So let's select an area of interest. I'm interested in 33160, which is a zip code in Sunny Isles. And then once I've selected that information, I simply want to select a property type, which is I'm going to select condos, townhouses, and then I'm going to click generate report. And fingers crossed that we are able to generate this. And here we go. We have our 1004 MC. So my branding is at the top. If you've never done your branding, we do go over it in Matrix 101. If you are interested in the longer version of how I can pull a 1004 MC, we also cover that in Matrix 301. But this is basically an inventory analysis of a zip code, which is super interesting. You have your total number of comparable sales. This is also looking at just single family homes. No, I did townhomes and condos. So you're first looking at the prior 7 to 12 months, and it gives you the exact date that we're looking at. We're looking at January 2020 through the end of July. We also have 4 to 6 months, and then currently the last 3 months. right? So at this time, we have 433 um, comparable sales. We also have an absorption rate of 144. We also have our total number of active listings, 2,179, and months of inventory, we have 15. Okay, so every month.
Christy, could you go back to the report settings 1 second?
Oh, sure.
And can you make it 0 to 365 on the closed?
Okay, so we're going to compare
And
instead of
that'll allow
6
you to have
months,
7 and 12 month info.
65. So instead of the last 6 months, to make it more accurate, we're going to update our closed sales so that it says a year. Thank you, Connie, for that catch.
And just to note, this information can be subdivision, a geographic area, whichever information that you can use to fill this. But it's most of the time they do county, city, and then a property type. Thank you, Christy.
You're welcome. She has explained different areas that you can go ahead and generate this report, or different criteria that you can include. Most importantly, you do want to include your statuses, your property type, but in the middle, any of the middle information, this is property of where it's located. So if you want to do a smaller section, you can go ahead and use the map. So if you have a particular listing or a particular home and you want to go out a mile and pull that information and activity, you can go ahead and input that listing here. You can also look at a particular address. You have the ability to use an area, a county. If you want to go smaller, you can do a subdivision number or a subdivision name, which is a particular neighborhood that you want to check out. You have geographic areas, and cities are also available for you. So you can break down that information further, and including, if I want to include a particular number of bedrooms and baths so I can have a smaller amount, you can also pinpoint that information by adding the number of bedrooms and baths. So really, the information or the reporting that you can create using this activity report is endless, right? You can even use a price point. So if you only want to look at properties that are over a million or 1,500,000, you can include that price point as well. So moving into generating that report, now that we're looking at the 365, here we have our information in the last 3 months. Okay, so I am comparing quite a lot of information. I'm comparing townhomes, condos. I didn't put in the bedrooms or the baths, and I'm just looking at a particular zip code. So you do have your absorption rate. An absorption rate is basically your total sales over your months. So it's comparing in the last 3 months, 144 listings are being sold per month. So it's comparing the total comparable sales month over month in the last 3 months compared to the total inventory that we have, and that's giving us our month supply, or our housing supply, which is quite high. You also have in your last current 3 months, you have the information regarding your median sales and listing price with the days on market. So your median price point, 350,000. Your median comparable sale days on market is 108. You also have the price point of where they're listing these prices, 678,000. So it has dropped slightly. I'm assuming because there's so much inventory, they have to get a little bit more competitive. And you also have the median comparable listing days on market, 158. So it's taking quite some time for you to move these properties, right? And then when you do move them, your customers making 93.33% of their original asking price, which is still a very good number. Okay. When you're looking at inventory, so when you're looking at months of housing inventory, if you have 0 to 6 months worth of inventory, that means that it's a seller's market. If you have over 9 months of inventory, that means that it's a buyer's market. And if you have anywhere between in the middle 6 to 8 months, then that's a balanced market. Okay, so when you're looking at that, you can make the determination based on that information. Okay, and this is your 1004 MC. Let me exit out of this information, right? And you have it available here that you can always download, print, or email. Okay, and this is all found under your market reports. So if I go into my matrix, we were able to work on our market reports. We were able to take a look at our stats. We talked a little bit about your agent production reports and how you can pull them and how you can also see where you rank, maybe where your sales office ranks. And then I wanted to jump into a whole different program, right? So we did go into Matrix. I'm going to exit out. Our next program that I want to talk about is RPR. RPR is another excellent program where you can find statistics that are available for you. So if you click on RPR, we can have some of that information available. So clicking on RPR, if you've never logged in to RPR, if you've never taken a class, we have 3 classes regarding RPR. We do have a residential class, we have a commercial class. It's also part of Mobile Realtor. So there's 3 classes that are available where we touch base on RPR. All of these classes and these programs, we do deep dive into them. We also have their own classes assigned that you can find in your calendar. You can also find them in our YouTube channel. So youtube.com/miamitrainers. If you were to use our playlist section, you can find the different classes that are available for you, right? And the different programs where you can use or that you can deep dive into. If you wanted to watch this class again, you have market stats. You have it available here in English and Spanish, and you have different trainers teaching this class. My particular class will be available in a few days, this one, but you do have it already available and loaded for you. Okay, so clicking into RPR, you'll also have to access RPR. In order to access it, it's going to ask you for your NRDS number, which you can find under Miami Realtors. Is it? Or is it the dashboard? Okay, it's the dashboard. So you see this number here that says NRDS number. They're going to ask for that number if you've never accessed that program before, and you can find that NRDS number under My Miami Dashboard. It's also going to ask you for an email, and the email you want to use is the email address provided or that you provided when you signed up with the association. Then you want to simply click on that RPR icon so you can access it. We go into more detail regarding submitting or inputting, setting up your profile in the RPR residential class. As you can see, we are in the residential section, and you can see that based on what the screen looks like. If I were to click on commercial, the grid will go ahead and change into a red color, and that's going to let us know that we're inside of commercial. So I'm going to click back into residential. We're going to pull 2 reports out of the residential section. I'm interested in showing you the neighborhood report. And I'm also interested in showing you the market activity report. So if I click on neighborhood, you can either search a specific neighborhood, a specific city, or a zip or a county. So if I'm interested in Weston, it's going to give me some of that information. Let me narrow it down to Florida. Okay, and I'm going to click on Weston, Florida. Then I'm going to click on the looking glass, and it's going to give me that information regarding the city of Weston. I have my median estimated home value price. It was recently updated the end of December. I also have available that percentage, that change over from last month. I can also see the change over the last 12 months. You also have available your median estimated home value as a graph. So you have a line graph available. It's going to compare your city of interest with Broward County, Florida, and the United States. You can look at this information in the past year or in the past 2 years. You also have available the comparing information. So if you wanted to remove the information of the country and you just wanted to compare Weston with Broward and Florida, you can go ahead and uncheck whatever you're not interested in viewing at that time. So if I just want to look at Weston and Broward, I can do so. If you want to add it, you can simply just click that back in. You also have your median sales price versus your sales volume, and this will go back 3 years. You also have access to public records. So when we're looking at Matrix and when we're looking at the Sunstats that were created for you inside of your agent market report, right? So if I go back into the main page under news, if I'm looking at the South Florida market intel, I'm looking at the information from Matrix and the different MLSs. But if I'm looking inside of RPR, I also have the tax roll information. So the public record information is available. That's counting listings and properties that were sold out of Matrix or out off the MLS. So I have available your public records and your listings with your median sales prices, and it is going to compare from 2015 to 2021. So January 21 year over year. You also have your sales volume. Moving down, I have my median listing price versus my listing volume. And then it's going to give me some demographic information like the population of children by age group. It's going to break it down between toddlers, elementary, middle, and high school. It's also going to give me the information regarding the population of adults by age group, right? And that is your summary report. Aside from that, I can click on housing, and that's going to be available for us as well, which gives us additional statistics that have been created for us. And this is, again, going to compare that information, the city of Weston, Broward, Florida, and the US. Some of the statistics that you have is, again, that median estimated home price with that value or 12-month change. You also have that median list price, that 1-month change, right? That percentage, that list price 12-month change, the median home age, so how old are these properties, what are the percentage of owners compared to renters. You also have the value of all buildings for which permits were issued. You have that information, and you also have those percentage changes. Aside from that, you have that information reflected as different graphs, right? That price range of homes sold, that price per square foot, the sizes of the homes, the age range of those homes sold. Okay, so most of the property are 20 to 30 years old. And you also have the number of bedrooms in homes sold, right? So most popular, either 3 to 4 bedroom homes. Okay, 8 bedrooms, not a lot of information on that. Not a lot of properties built that big in Weston, Florida. We also have people. Okay, so under people, you have additional demographics that are available for you, the education level of this population, right? It breaks it down, how far they went. You also have the population of children by age group, population of adults by age group, households with children, right? You have the household income brackets. So more or less, what are the income brackets of the persons living in this area or this territory? What are their occupations? Even down to their presidential voting pattern. So this is a great way that you can provide a report to a customer and give them information regarding where it is or who their neighbors are. So if you're not familiar with the area, but more importantly, your customer is not familiar with the area, this is a great way that you can give out statistics, that you can give out facts and move away from personal opinion so that they can review this information and make their own decisions based on graphs and charts that you were able to provide from them. Moving into economy. We have the economic facts and stats regarding Weston. So we have income per capita. Again, it's comparing Weston to Broward to Florida to the US. We have the median household income, the unemployment rate, unemployment number, employment number, labor force number. We also have those graphs available for you to review. And moving into quality of life, that wraps up this report. Thank you, Connie, for all of the information that you're providing. I see that we have quite a lot of questions inside the chat. Thank you, Connie, for all of your help. We do have that Weston Florida information regarding quality of life, and this is going to include elevation, annual rainfall, travel time to work, right? In minutes, these are, of course, a range, right? We also have water quality that's available. Moving down, you have the information in graphs. So average commute times, how people are getting to work, the average monthly temperatures are all available for you. On your right-hand side, you'll also be able to simply click on different neighborhoods nearby. So if this is something that you're doing for your customer, this is fantastic. We're going to create a report now. But if you're also interested in finding a farming area, you do have the information of Weston, and you're also going to have on the right-hand side different neighborhoods that are available or close to what you're looking at currently. And that's going to give you at a glance the median estimated price point, the number of homes in that area, and the population. You can simply click on another city of interest, and the system will automatically take you there. But now that we are interested in Weston, I'm going to create a report. So clicking on create a report, I'm going to make sure that I'm clicking on the neighborhood. And then once I click on the neighborhood, you do have all of these details, right? So if you're interested in including all of this, you can. But if I don't want to include, for example, the quality of life, and I don't want to include the economic stats and charts, and I only want to include the housing stats and the people stats, then I can do so. On the right-hand side, you also have the information of what your first page is going to look like and the information that's going to be included in your branding. So just like I manipulated or customized my reporting, you can also customize that front page. Okay, so now that I've customized my pages, I can simply run this report. We do go into depth on how you can email this report, share it with different customers, set up your settings. That's all going to be provided in that RPR class. You do want to take RPR Residential. We go over all of the functions of RPR Residentials and how you can use it. So on the left-hand side, you see that this is the report that we are currently creating, and you see that we have a color key. So if it's in yellow, that means it's still pending, it's being created. And as that's being created, I'm going to go back home and we're going to start on the reporting regarding market activity. So now that we're familiar with the neighborhood report, I'm going to click on market activity. I'm going to stay in the same area of Weston, Florida, right? I'm going to click on Weston, Florida. I'm going to show all, but you do have options. So if you just want to look at the new listings, at the new distressed properties, at the new pendings, at the recently sold, price changes, what's recently expired, what's new for lease, what's new for or recently been leased, you can go ahead and add or subtract that market activity information. So it's kind of like, I would say it's kind of like a hot sheet, right? So it's market activity. Once you've selected the area and what you want to show, simply click on that looking glass and it's going to pull all of those results. So it's quite a lot of results to review. Let me see if it's too many. I have 1,617 properties and results. That's quite a lot of information. I'm going to move into creating a report. I'm already under my market activity. So if I click on that, I can go ahead and choose which pages I want to select. So you have your report elements, you have your market snapshot, your estimated home values, those changes, right? Those percentages over the last 12 years, a concentration of distressed properties, sales price, listing price, and your market activity, right? You can also view it in the last 6 months, 3 months, last month, last week, last 3 days. I'm going to look at the last month, so it's not so long. You can also select which change types you're interested in viewing. You can also select which property type you're interested in viewing. I'm going to look at just the single family homes. You can go ahead and review the bedrooms or add the baths. And then anything recently updated, you can sort it by recently updated, the address, what's most expensive, least expensive. You can sort your properties however you'd like. And then your maximum properties per status. So I'm going to stay at 10. So it's going to show me my recently updated information for this area. It's only going to show me the top 10 or the most recent 10 properties, but you can go up to 50. Moving down, I'm going to go ahead and click on Run Report. And that's running for me. Okay. Up at the top, I can see that my report that we created in the neighborhood has already populated, and my market activity report, it's on the way. So as our Weston market activity report populates, let's go ahead and take a look at our Weston neighborhood report. So here we have it. We have the 8 pages. We have our map, right? And it's outlining our city. Area of interest. And then I have my branding at the bottom. And then here are my neighborhood housing stats that we reviewed together. And you can go ahead and submit or email this information to a customer. You can actually customize it. And then it's going to give you this last page. It's going to give you information about what RPR actually is, about the RPR data, when it's updated, and if they wanted to learn more. So RPR is a realtor tool. This is not customer front facing. That means that they do not have access to RPR in the sense of they can run their own reports or they can search for property or anything like that. They have to go through you. You have to be the person available for them to receive these reports. Okay, so they do have that page where they explain that information. Also, you can go ahead and share that information. So if I wanted to share that neighborhood report, if I click on the plus sign, I can download this report. I can rerun this report. I can also share it directly to my Facebook. I can also delete reports. So RPR will save your reports for about 30 days. After 30 days, it will delete that report. So if you want to save it, right, you want to save it to your device. Moving forward, we do have that market activity report. So now that it is blue and done, I'm going to click on Weston, Florida. Market activity report. It's 25 pages. We have our market snapshot. Okay, so it's going to give you that median estimated home value. It's going to give you the percentage changes. Here are our 12-month changes. Okay, so they're clear images. This is a concentration of the distressed properties. It's going to give you that map or that key explaining that the darker the color, the darker red that color is, the more distressed properties are in that area. And it's also going to give you that number. Okay, so these maps here with the different colors, these are called heat maps, and they are presented for you so that you can show your customer in a very visual way the different statistic available. Okay, you also have your summary stats. Okay, so you have your new listings, your pending listings, price changes, distressed properties, and recently sold. And that's going to break it down and give you additional information like what's the low price value on these, what's the median price, the high price, the average price, the median price per square foot, the average days in RPR, the median days in RPR, and the total volume of these 10 properties, right? It's going to give you the stats. Moving down, this is the information continued. You have the number of properties, low price value, median price over the value, high price over the value, average price of square feet, median price per square feet, average days in RPR, median days in RPR. And then it wraps up with the new listings. It's going to show you the 10 newest listings to hit the market with additional information like property type, bedrooms and baths, living area, lot size, year built, listing date, listing price, and price per square feet. It's going to show you the last 10 new listings. Aside from the last 10 new listings, it's also going to show you the last pending 10 listings, right? So the ones that have recently gone into contract. And then any price changes on the last 10 properties and their price changes. Okay, and what that new price is. And of course, it's going to show you the last distressed property, okay, to hit the market. It's going to show you 10, but at the moment you have one in that time frame that I've selected in my settings. To select your time frames, again, we do have RPR Residential that goes over that. So now that we know how we can pull these reports, these neighborhood reports, and these market activity reports on the residential side, let's pop into the commercial side. Okay, so if I go back home and I click again on commercial and it changes into red, I'm on the commercial side. This commercial section of RPR, if you're interested in commercial, if you're resi-mercial, which is a residential realtor that wants to do some commercial, if you want to dip your toe in this section, take the commercial RPR class. It is fantastic. Maggie, Robert, they teach it beautifully. Connie, when it comes to the commercial side of RPR. In this class, we're basically going to be touching on two different programs or two different analysis that we can do. I'm going to start with clicking on Get an Analysis. So perform an in-depth analysis here. We're going to click on this button to get started. You have different analysis that you can do on the left-hand side. You have where are the right people for business? What's the best location for a business? And what's the best business for a location? We're going to stay on where are the right people for a business, and we're going to get started on what's your broad area or area of interest. And I'm going to go ahead and select a zip code. I'm going to do 33129. Okay, and then I'm going to select that zip code in Miami. Move down and I can select my different attributes. So you can select who they are, what they do, where they live, what they buy, how they behave, facts and stats. So you have all of this interesting information that you can pull. And this is fantastic if you want to get to know your audience, right? So if you are marketing to a specific demographic, who are these people? And knowing your audience is going to give you leverage on how you can market to them. So I'm going to select who they are. An attribute of interest for me, I'm going to select income, but you do have household size, income, net worth, personal finances, which includes financial assets, personal finances and income, real estate debt, vehicle debt, other debt, marital status, education, race, or age. So you can really deep dive in the kind of neighbors that are in a certain area. So I'm going to stick with income, and then I'm going to do the median household income. You can break it down by age. And I'm going to go ahead and just select OK at the bottom. And then simply click on Run Analysis to pull that report. And I have that information available for me. You have these dark squares where you can actually click on a certain territory, right? It's going to categorize that information based on best is going to be in this dark purple where you're able to search for listings in this particular area. It's going to give you that household income, and it's also going to be able to allow you to search all properties in this section. You can also view trade area details. If I continue to scroll down, you have the results available for you. So you can review all of those price points, right? So we're looking at that income per price point, and we can see that the highest one is the second one here, 165. Okay, and I can go ahead and select it if I'm interested in that, and the map will be highlighted. So now that it's highlighted, and if I wanted to look at trade area details, I can simply click on view trade area details, and it's going to pull that report for me. Okay, so in this information or in this section, I have available for me that median household income that we were looking at. I also have the information regarding population, such as age, married, income, education, economy, how they commute to work, and their home values. That's available. Okay, their consumer segmentations are available as well with some of their top tapestries. Tapestries are basically additional information regarding these neighbors, right? And they have different names. For example, one is called the Golden Years, and I'm going to show you how to deep dive into these kind of lifestyles. So they do have that lifestyle group, what kind of people they are. You do have these little question marks that's going to explain those titles for you. That gives you additional information regarding that tapestry. So, for example, the Golden Year resident, they're independent, active seniors nearing the end of their careers. And they're already ready for retirement. So it gives you quite a lot of insight into an area. Moving down, you have their education information, financial informations, manager portfolios and CDs and stocks. You also have the media. So how is it that they're receiving information? They watch cable TV and they read newspapers. And that's going to give you the difference on how you're going to communicate with these people. So if mostly their media is watching cable TV and reading newspapers, then maybe the best thing for you is going to be to either market yourself on a newspaper, send them flyers to their homes because, they're not on Facebook, right? So this is something that you can use in order for you to be able to market more successfully to a particular farming area. So from here, I can go ahead and create a report. And what we were looking at before was the trade area analysis. You also have that commercial trade area report, which goes more into detail. So I can scroll down and click on Run Report to view that information. It's going to take about 2 minutes. And that's going to give me more of an explanation of those neighbors. Again, this is fantastic as well for any customer that you are working with that asks you questions like, well, how are the people who live here? How are my neighbors? How's this community? What are these people about? Fantastic for you to be able to provide a report for them. So even though it's on the commercial side of RPR, you still have quite a lot of use for it as a residential agent if you are not a commercial realtor. As this finalizes, which is finalizing shortly, to update those settings to make sure that your branding is correct on your main page on the front cover, you can go ahead and click on this gear. Right, and clicking on this gear will give you access to a section where you can upload your picture, upload your logo, include your contact information, include your phone number. You can always add another number if you have an assistant, your email address, your website, right? If you are part of another association, you can go ahead and input that info. You can go ahead and input your license number if you would like it to be part of your main page, and you can access or give access to assistants. So you have up to 3 accounts, right? Or 3 accounts that you can give access to, right? So you would,
Christy, can you repeat the process while you're waiting for the report to generate on how you generated it?
Oh yeah, sure, of course. Let's go back into my home page. And what we did to generate that report was we went to go to the analysis. We selected where are the people right now. We inputted a zip code of interest, 33129, I think is the one I did. I selected it. I then decided on some demographic data. So you have, the freedom to select what you'd like, but I selected who they are. The attributes that we decided to work on is income. We also decided to focus on the median household income, but on your own time, take the time to see all of the options that you have available. You simply check it off. And then towards the bottom, you press OK. And now that I've pressed OK, you simply run that analysis. And we briefly reviewed this, but what I did to run the report was I clicked on Create a Report up at the top. And then the one that I looked at that we're running right now was Commercial Trade Area Report. That's the one that we're recently running. I scrolled down to the bottom and I clicked on Run Report. And once I clicked Run Report, the system immediately starts to run it on the left-hand side, and it's actually ready now. So I'm going to click on it so we can view it. And we have that information available for us. Here's that criteria used for the analysis. Here's the consumer segment. Here is what are the people like in this area, their senior style. Senior lifestyle reveals the effects of savings for retirement. We have that the golden year information available for us. We have the lifestyle group, the residential type, the household type, the average household size, the median age, the diversity index, the median household income, the net worth, the median home value, home ownership or the percentage of home ownership, the employment, education and preferred activities. So they like to travel overseas frequently, shop, pay bills, track investments online, their financial information, their media, and the vehicles that they prefer to use. Then we have that breakdown of that information, right? So you have your golden years and you have this information about who they are, which is really interesting. So we have golden year residents, they're independent, active seniors nearing the end of their careers or already in retirement. This market is primarily singles living alone or empty nesters. Those still active in the labor force are employed in professional occupations. However, their consumers are likely pursuing a variety of leisure activities like travel, sports, dining out, museums, and concerts. They're involved, focused on physical fitness and enjoying their lives. This market is similar but growing and financially secure. So that is such a great picture of what these neighbors are like and such a great report that you can provide either for yourself and how you're going to target these people that you want to work with, and also information that you can provide your buyer that can review this and see how they might fit into this neighborhood or if this is the neighborhood that's right for them without you having to be the one to suggest or have a personal opinion about a particular neighborhood. You have it available for you. Then you can also see the information regarding our neighbors, social economic trails that are available, market profiles, avid readers. They regularly read daily newspapers, particularly on the Sunday edition. They subscribe to cable TV, news and sports programs are popular as well, on-demand movies. They really go and deep dive into what these neighbors are about and what these people are about. Then you have the information regarding population, population diversity or density, better said, population change since 2010. So how has it changed in the last few years? The total daytime population, trade area report, daytime the second page, you have your daytime population density, the average household income. So all of the information that we saw up top, it's broken down into different graphs that you can use, and it's comparing Miami-Dade County, that area, and Florida, right? And it's also showing you the different years. So it's comparing in the brown 2019, in that golden yellow 2024. So you have a projection of what that's going to look like. So not only do you know what's going on now, but you have a projection in this report, which is so interesting for people who want to know, okay, this neighborhood is like this now, but how's it going to be in the next few years? You can provide that. That female male ratio is available. That median age information, population by age, is also available for you. Are they married? Are they unmarried? They break it down with married, never married, widowed, divorced. Additional information regarding household income, median household income, per capita. It is very insightful, very easy to do. What's the unemployment rate in this area? What are the employment counted by based on industry? And it just goes on and on regarding super important information that you can use in your own marketing. So what is their education comparison? And it breaks it down, and it's available for you. What are the percentages that went to college? Average commute time that they're doing, how people are getting to work, right? Are they still driving? It appears they are. Median estimated home values and those changes, right, in the last year. And then you have the best retail businesses. So you do have the different businesses and what they don't have enough of and what they do have enough of that you can preview. And then you have your traffic counts. So if they're interested in this, they also have it available. It's very detailed, and it ends with that last page explaining about how you receive the data, right? So what is RPR about? What's this data about? When is it updated? So I hope you guys like this statistics class. Each program that I discuss has its own class. We are going to be doing this class over again in Spanish. So if you want to see it again in Spanish, by all means, please join us. Me and Connie will be together. Connie will be teaching it in Spanish, and you can go over this information once again. Thank you so much for being with us. Just a quick overview. We touched base on news, where you can find your stats already created and your South Florida market intel, as well as your market focus. We also talked about your presentations and your international research. Inside of the Miami Gateway, we touched on your Sun stats, right, which we talked about, and how you can pull those statistics inside of Matrix. We worked on your stats as well as your market reports. And then we finished the class inside of RPR. We talked about where you can find your NRDS number, which is on my Miami dashboard. And we went over a few reports. So 2 of those reports were on the residential side. We went over our neighborhood report and our market activity report. And then on our commercial side, we went over some of the analyses that we can do and get inside of the commercial side. So thank you so much for being with us. If you want to watch again, it's on YouTube. If you have any questions, you can email me, Christy at miamire.com. You can also email the trainers at miamire.com. And have a fantastic rest of your day, guys.